Hello, everybody. Let me give everyone a second to press the buttons. Hello, and welcome to the Rails 158th Wednesday poetry reading, our 937th new social environment. I was trying to think of a good Anselm acronym, but I only got to nominally successful event, which I don't know whether that works. I'm Ty. I deeply love Erin Pérez, who has curated today's reading. This reading is called A Poem Called Poem, which I would do in a Frank O'Hara voice if I had a good Frank O'Hara impression. And this reading will feature Portlyn Houghton-Harjo, Bailey Cohen-Vera, and Abby Romine, all close personal friends of each other and me. Now to introduce Erin Pérez. Erin Pérez is prone to cavities despite her trying, writes poems, and is the co-creator and co-editor of Leak Magazine alongside Ty Cooper, me. She lives in Brooklyn. Here's Erin.
Hi, Ty. Hi, everybody. Thank you for a lovely introduction. It is such a pleasure to have curated a reading where I can have, everybody that I love, read the poems that I like that they've written. So to start the reading, we're going to have none other than Portlyn Houghton-Harjo. Portlyn is a Mvskoke and Seminole writer from the elusive state of Oklahoma. Her work can be found in Beaver Magazine, Yellow Medicine Review, and the Creative Field Guide to Northeastern Oklahoma, among other publications. She worships Bigfoot and the natural process of decay, and she lives in Brooklyn right now. Hi, Portlyn.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and start. This one does not have a title. I'm peeling an impossible orange while Abby reads. I'm not very good at these poems. Jordan says, white ass, white ass, white ass, and I'm not a very good white girl, so I thank God that I'm not white. Someone told me that the pith of an orange, the white bits, prevent cancer, so this time I use my teeth to eat it off the peel. Someone asks if we're cursed. We don't know. I'll eat the pith of an orange. Cancer crops up, small blooms of cells that don't know what to do with themselves anymore. I know it well, so I will eat the whiteness until I don't. Picture it. A country dyke wonders about cocks and how many get hard when a huge American flag flies over the highway. I don't like to say cock, but it sounded nice in this poem. I had a black cat, called him Truck Stop, bobtail humor. While still a kitten, Truck Stop got mauled by a loose dog, flea bitten with tick bucket hunger. And this one's called One. Computers are marshes, and I'm wading through this one shaped like my dad. I look down and I'm like, why are we here? Marsh dad tells me he can take a joke. I'm like, are you sure? He talks shit about my mom in response. She appears then, suddenly, in crane form. She squawks, fuck off, but in an elegant way. I mean, in a really country way, in a southern accent with a hint of a master's degree way. When I was a kid, everyone had divorced cyberbog parents. Then suddenly I grew up and they had all gotten together again behind my back. The wetlands had been revitalized when I wasn't looking. The wetlands had been revitalized when I wasn't looking. And did you remember squished up mud and grass between your pinky and big toe? Nana said a ghost existed once who was always looking for, where is my big toe? And she'd poke my belly and wink as if I ate it, and I never did. But I knew wet dirt feel in the between toes, and that was enough for me to offer up my feet. Grief Creek. I passed a sign on the highway that said, Grief Creek. I called dibs on it out loud. That's mine. I'm going to put that in a poem. Thank you.
Thanks, Portlyn. That was fantastic. I remember being in the car with you when you saw Grief Creek. Next up, next up we have Bailey Cohen-Vera, who uses he, him pronouns. And he is a poet. He practices Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He loves it so much, and he lives in Brooklyn, New York. The whereabouts of where in Brooklyn are, we don't really know. Hi, Bailey.
Hi, thanks for not knowing where I live. I've I don't know, I'm just gonna read. I have two things I want to read. They're both on the medium length size. Well, actually one is okay, whatever. I'm just gonna start reading. This is called Against Keurig. Against Keurig. There is no greater tragedy than when the encounter of what could have been holy dulls you. No greater disrespect to the miraculous than its mechanical and efficient circumvention. Indeed, there is no coffee brewing method more fascist than the Keurig, with its standardized extraction of coffee from standardized pods assembled in standardized factories, reportedly abiding by standardized labor laws. These factories source their coffee beans from farms which grow their coffee plants in orderly, standardized rows, optimized for the farm worker or the robotic ideal of the farm worker to harvest at a predictable rate so that the farm's accountant or another financial overseer can fill out standardized shipment forms respondent to standardized order forms respondent to what the standardized Keurig user demands of the company on a given standardized day. There is no diversity in these farms. The same small trees grow beside one another at the same rate, duplicating unto themselves endlessly as if tombstones in a military's grave. And there is no diversity in the coffee which the Keurig makes, neither in its lukewarm and watery production, which insults coffee's grand ancestry, nor in its quantity, with factory presets standardized at 10 ounces, 6 or 8. Even the coffee's adornments are devoid of any personality, as the Coffee Mate single-serve plastic cups, each containing precisely 3/8 of a fluid ounce of flavored cream, are manufactured by a company in partnership with the company which owns Keurig, ensuring collateral and its resulting security. Profit is undeterrable here. And here is where I find myself, resigned to desolation, defeated, head bowed in a solemn tread. There is neither joy nor beauty in how I start my day, with a beverage consumed for neither aesthetic nor pleasure, but for function, as I enter myself into another, adjacent part of a machine whose market and purpose have been similarly sculpted by capital and its empires. Lord, free me from this unchanging and melancholic trudge. Give me coffee of imprecise grinding. Let my filters be flawed and spontaneous. I want to shit ceremoniously and feel an accompanying unreasonable shame. If I'm going to be caffeinated, let me feel the divinity of uppers, the hasty excitement of concentrated energy, the brief separation of mind from body, as what would normally exhaust me becomes a suddenly comprehensible task. I want to feel happy. I want to taste deliciousness unprecedented by its nuance and range. Give me a French press's inevitable sludge. Give me coffee drank too late, coffee in the afternoon when dusk seems insurmountable and the seasons ally themselves with dread and night. Give me headaches, regret, euphoria, buzz. If anything else is to be in my life, I do not want it. Yeah, so that's about Keurigs, which I hate. I'm unmuted, you can't laugh. Um, and I wanted to read that because I've been writing about coffee for a really long time, actually. Or not that long, like 2 years, which feels long. And actually the reason I started was because I read this book, which is called Memory for Forgetfulness. It's kind of like a novel in verse autobiography type thing by the Palestinian poet Mahmoud Darwish. And so I wanted to read from this a little bit, just to like have a Palestinian voice in this space. So this is an excerpt from the very, very beginning. Oh, and it's translated by Ibrahim Mohawe. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing that correct, but all the other translations are garbage, respectfully. So you should get this one. And I just wanted to read a page or two from this to kind of show where that coffee fascination came from. But yeah. I no longer wonder when the steely howling of the sea will stop. I live on the 8th floor of a building that might tempt any sniper, to say nothing of a fleet now transforming the sea into one of the fountainheads of hell. The north face of the building, made of glass, used to give tenants a pleasing view over the wrinkled roof of the sea, but now it offers no shield against stark slaughter. Why did I choose to live here? What a stupid question. I've lived here for the past 10 years without complaining about the scandal of glass. But how to reach the kitchen? I want the aroma of coffee. I want nothing more than the aroma of coffee, and I want nothing more from the passing days than the aroma of coffee. The aroma of coffee so I can hold myself together, stand on my feet, and be transformed from something that crawls into a human being. The aroma of coffee so I can stand my share of this dawn up on its feet, so that we can go together, this day and I, down into the street in search of another place. How can I diffuse the aroma of coffee into my cells, while shells from the sea rain down on the sea-facing kitchen, spreading the stink of gunpowder and the taste of nothingness? I measure the period between two shells, 1 second, 1 second shorter than the time between breathing in and breathing out, between two heartbeats. 1 second is not long enough for me to stand before the stove by the glass facade that overlooks the sea. 1 second is not long enough to open the water bottle or pour the water into the coffee pot. 1 second is not long enough to light a match, but 1 second is long enough for me to burn. I switch off the radio, no longer wondering if the wall of this narrow hallway will actually protect me from the rain of rockets. What matters is that there is a wall be there to veil air fusing into metal, seeking human flesh, making a direct hit, choking it, or scattering shrapnel. In such cases, a mere dark curtain is enough to provide an imaginary shield of safety, for death is to see death. I want the aroma of coffee. I need 5 minutes. I want a 5-minute truce for the sake of coffee. I have no personal wish other than to make a cup of coffee. With this madness, I define my task and my aim. All my senses are on their mark, ready at the call to propel my thirst in the direction of the one and only goal, coffee. Coffee, for an addict like me, is the key to the day. And coffee, for one who knows it as I do, means making it with your own hands and not having it come to you on a tray, because the bringer of the tray is also the bearer of talk, and the first coffee, the virgin of the silent morning, is spoiled by first words. Dawn, my dawn, is antithetical to chatter. The aroma of coffee can absorb sounds and will go rancid, even if these sounds are nothing more than a gentle good morning. Yeah, it goes on for a little bit more, and he writes really, really beautifully about coffee, and and just like in and out, it kind of like weaves through this book. Could go on reading this for like 20 minutes, but I think I'll stop there. Again, this is from Memory for Forgetfulness, which like chronicles the war in Beirut in 1982, and it's by the Palestinian poet Mahmoud Darwish. So yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Bailey. That was wonderful. Next up, we have Abby Romine, a great friend of mine, personal friend. She is a sentimental poet and a ceramicist from the Valley. Her work is marked by melodrama, relevant humor, and premature grays. You can find her online at Cyber Feelings or in real life, waiting for two parallel lines to meet. Her hair has grown long from waiting. Hi, Abby.
Sorry. Hello. Thank you, Erin, for having me. You know, there's nothing sweeter than a reading between friends. I'm laughing because Portlyn is sitting next to me at my kitchen table. So anyway, when I was talking to Erin about this reading, she said she wanted something fun. And as I was going through some of my work, I realized I don't think I'm classically fun. I think I'm more classically like neurotic. But I hope you can find some fun in these poems. I have 3 of them for you today. The first one is called Techno Grace. Clarice, I kiss the wall and then the door, stopping before the floor. On my knees, I retch any earthliness left in me. I'm trying to be divine, devoid. I keep landing in my body, insensitive pants. 2 men cut the sidewalk open. Speak of the devil, there's a butterfly. Pavement grows. I'm at the new worst mall in the world, texting on the grave of a carousel. The devil has a passion for technology. I trip on the portal into the shy pink, sorting hard grapes from soft and feeling heaven sent. I love ketamine, jazz, and a third thing. God forbid it's saccharin. I have 3 worlds in my hands. I'm holding them close to my chest. Mommy, I'm a valley. Brother, I'm the sun. Daddy, I'm a roundabout. Spirit so good. Sweet Javier spits pebbles in murky water. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Sorry, but someone was at the door. And then hit the X. Okay, I'm sorry. Spirit so good. Sweet Javier spits pebbles in murky water, trying to access joy from across the room. Sister, my spirit is tainted by body and mind, oscillating between poor posture and obsessive compulsions. Bubby, I laid in your bed for the first time in silence. I can't imagine myself existing much longer. In white, my nose begins to bleed. They see the decadence, you know, the impersonal gestures of a big birth, echoes in the roundness. You are very now. I'm allergic to grass. Sandwich as proof of existence. You can hide behind this, the automatic source. I walk out the door minus 3 senses, all my little words falling. Thursday is also sad. Please give it back to me. I have to return. I'm being saved by small revelations, 6 needles, 1 vein, give myself a halo. And this next one is called Pumpernickel Issues. My dad said that he has pumpernickel issues because he was forced to eat too much pumpernickel as a child. And I thought that was really funny. Anyway, here it is. I'm building a house out of suicidal chickens. Wrap me in silence, you in your anonymous shoes. Mommy, stop breaking your toes. A wall no longer wants to be a wall. I'm going to tell the next guy how I let your name grow in me. Ode to hell in my hand palm, the layers retain something. I know my angels. Desire materializes as mud, the wobbly shape of my sincerity. I'm a thought someone had one time in the corner of their eye. Phantom panic, drop your panties, find a vacuum. I'm talking about my hips in the childbearing way when 3 men walk up and ask, whose mustache is creepiest? New achievement. I fucking loved your axe wound, you fucking whore, my computer says. Everyone's emotionally volatile because it's 86 degrees in February. I say disgusting things at the coffee shop. Portlyn hits her funny bone squarely. Jerica too. I'm dealing with this troublesome whole God and spheres around me. Mystery doesn't have to be intimate. A 9-minute walk gently. Uphill, the graces are glistening like water. I really mean graves. I really mean the water needs a good peel. In my head, I throw myself into the LA River, making a concrete splash. Some people are happier on the ground. The man at the palace says my wife likes to scream during sex. It's a setup, I tell the koi fish on the corner. They're in the greatest city in the world. Hey boy, clay boy, Paul, I'm milling about, God's soul-saving station, a baby with no self-preservation. I don't think Jesus ever felt guilty. The dying want to be in bed with me. 10 circles of rebar trees. I feel this need to capture eternity, bury the moon, eat the stars, say every third thought. Erin tells me honey isn't supposed to be hard. And my last one for you is called A Bunny Named Context. An iPhone 13 Pro is sandwiched between my morals. I practice vulnerability by getting on the wrong train, worry about eggs in transit. Guy online wants to know me in the biblical sense. I dream of being the Antichrist. Won't you come to my rapture? Crack my ribs, open a portal to hell from my chest. It's 4 p.m. on a Saturday. I take you all with me. Pleasure is curbing my craving for death. Nicole tells me worms come to her house to die. I find this wonderful, this being the death of an angel. I am in constant search, seeking a seat in the void, a hand in God, movement in the spirit, heaven in the never. I am sticky like a pit, attaching myself to everyone. I unfold on a peak, collective silence, jamming my thumb in the door, trying to be right. Everything should sound like wood. Carry the cross in your 3-car garage. I'm 11% better in the 4th dimension, cool versus hot reality, window here, water there, the holy well. It's good to be by a body. Steve Buscemi, I'm fantasizing about you on the boulevard, keeping my finger on the pulse of paradise, vibration of the hollow. I've replaced space and time with heat and memory, any and all variations unimaginable to the pure of heart. I get ornery. Can't feel the ground in my feet or the tongue against my teeth. Sidewalk kids kicking eggs get surprised when eggs break. Everything pales to the personal. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry about the interruption.
Thank you, Abby. That's fantastic. Such a great reader. Abby is usually the person that I make open any reading, and today I said no. So I have some poems now to read. Some of them are older and some of them are newer, and one is a poem called Poem. Okay, this one is seeing everything as something, or lead the horses to water and let us go. He tells me he loves me, so I stop wearing pants. I'm a modern woman. We only have sex when I'm on my period, and when we finish, I make him leave me alone. I let the bleach sit in the tub, and then I get in. I French braid my pubic hairs while I drip dry on the toilet. For dinner, I baptize the cat. We share it in a fish. The bottom of the river is Lay's potato chip wrapper infested, reflective, a natural citrus cleaner. My great-great-grandmother was called a siren, and her husband was called only ever by his name. I fry plantains in hot oil with the windows shut to try to replicate a feeling. When the oil jumps, it burns my belly. I pop the blister. I become that mountain range, the one that ran down the side of the road where I hit a snake straight down its center, and in the rearview mirror, I saw it reaching both ends up to God. When I'm grinning all over the place, you laugh so your mouth faces the sky. It makes me so happy I eat all my fingers. It feels like peeling off damp socks. This one is walking through salt water and coming out empty. My mother tells me a story where her fingers are criminal, of the minor sort. She moves her hands like this. I picture them being 17, wrinkled and manicured the same, my knees to my chest. I'm most sentimental in a Lincoln town car. I've bitten everything, 2 years old, trying to have someone remember me forever. I'm never reaching. On a quest for dishonesty, I end up with more truth than I need. At the ocean, a river. In the lake, salt. At the Pacific shore, black sand full of iron, corals full of poison in the Atlantic. I'm all torn up, crying. I mean my flip-flops and my feet. With my hands, I realize I speak with my whole body. There's this thirst. I eat raw fish that I catch with my bare hands, pick my teeth with the bones. I'm crass. I like to brag. I'm 15. Everything smells like Marlboro Reds. I've just finished chewing a hole through the ozone. I've swallowed it. A crying apology. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just got so hungry and I couldn't decide what I wanted to eat. This one is a poem called Poem. I am so beautiful, surrounded by things. When I open my arms like this and twirl, I am everywhere. I let my belly fall over the waist of my pants. I imagine how nice it would feel to stick my nose in your neck. At home, I'm more traditional. I turn on the gas, and then I start to want. When you sleep, I'm right next to you, on my back. I put my hand over yours and use your fingers to trace out borders on the ceiling. In the morning, I kiss those fingers by putting their cushions gently on my lips without making a sound, then look up at your face with the bridge of my nose. I never know what I'm crossing until I'm halfway to the other side. The fingers pressed to my mouth are my fingers. The nail itching the gum is my nail. Then this might be my last one, but maybe not. Maybe another one after, maybe. Be holy, O teeth. When I walk through a door, there is no door. When I walk through the hall, it's ceremony. Synchronized dancing, the trees are letting go of themselves. I rake my fingers through my hair and pull out the loose strands. I rub them between my palms to make them into balls. I put them in my jean pockets. While I'm in there, I find old fingernails. From when? I don't bite anymore. It's all so dull. Panamanians don't get wet, says my mother. A betrayal. I've been gifting an umbrella. I carried it everywhere. I love my umbrella. Am I this? Yes, you say. And this? Yes, also this. I'm not clean when the toothbrush dies. I put baking soda on my finger and I run it under water. Now so clean, finally. Why? What a stupid question. It's because I can. Not my hair, but my eyebrows. I'm voracious. I eat 10 walnuts. Her hair smelled and looked greasy before she died, according to several sources close to the victim. Indicative of something. I'm keeping everything dirty on purpose. Outside of the window, there are no visible stars. Dad, can I sleep in the truck tonight in the seats that smell like dog? Stomp out the fire, but keep it alive. Heart wrapped in foil, I put it in the ash. It bubbles up like coffee. Not worms in your chicken, but veins. When questioned, I wrinkled my nose up towards my mouth. It's always been like this, I say. The flesh you eat has always been flesh. Okay, all right, one more. I don't have issues with you. I love you. Here's the thing. When you move your head like that, the line is a snowball. Oh, I cannot fight you. Bang pots and pans out your window, chill your voice with your tongue. I'm wanting something, the feeling of eating sidewalk rocks and hinging your jaw till it cracks. I'm an adult. I don't know. Poems? Popes? Posts. When I move my head like that, I can hear all the rocks. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Erin Pérez. Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Portlyn. Thank you, Bailey. Thank you, Abby. Because today I am cosplaying Anselm, I thought that I could take a slightly prompting role and add my own more, antagonistic nature to it and ask if each of you would maybe read just one more poem. I'm thinking, well, because I always am saying this to all of you, which is that I always think that a reading should be like a DJ set and you should be able to make requests. So I'd like to request one more poem out of each of you. I've got ideas, but I think you can gather your own as well. But I wondered if maybe we could at least hear Abby read The Hands Are Out to Get Me, and then maybe one from Port and Bailey too, if you guys don't hate me too much.
We can totally make that happen. Okay.
Yeah, you've got the one pulled up.
Yeah. Okay, this is called The Hands Are Out to Get Me. This was featured in Leak Magazine. Ty and Erin's little baby. Anyway, I'll read it now. Sometimes when I'm lightheaded, I go up to the roof and think I'm a good person. I'm like fine. I'm like a fine person. I never met a wall I didn't want to bash my head into, all viscose and sorrow on the air mattress. The 92-year-old at the bar told me everyone is good, but in New York, everyone is mad. I told him I could be wife number 5 or stay mad. Should I not antagonize the hands? I have an affinity for the empty-eyed. I'm a woman made for no one, made to no one. All I want is a little more than I'll ever get. The rat race is over, the rats have won, I die, I cheer, I stay dead. I just wanted to see the sunrise on the coast the sun doesn't rise on. Waking up is violent, Portlyn says. I skip rocks in my dreams. Rocket vapor angel, crumbling walnut teeth. It's summer, I'm biting it. On bright days, always have the sun behind you. The soul is a fact and the body is an archive. My character got built in the wrong direction. Now I'm just a repressed asshole, Thomas says. I had this dream, I showed you the X-shaped scar on my belly. I had this dream, I was taking your picture. I had this dream, there was a bug in the line you snorted. I had this dream, you were a gnat and died. And it couldn't be more romantic. Surely just the thought of being loved by you is good enough, even if you're a dead gnat and my conscience is altered. I'm God's perfect idiot, following good hallways and opening bad doors, falling into mirrors and becoming. Oh, to be someone preoccupied with loving. But the silver bird keeps snorting, an angel keeps dancing, and I keep having less to say. Oh my God, another day. Avoidance under tongue, pocket full of unbound clarity, lips stained in a pink you'd wear to the bank. I'm talking about my mouth. I'm papering the seat, refusing to pee. It's all part of my ritual. I'm showing you my fun-loving casual side. It's like how I pick up every penny off the streets so my mother doesn't die. Fun, you see? My face is clean and my cuticles are bloody. I'm so loving. I asked my mother if she remembers the first time I bled, and she said, no. Should I? And I said, no. But I love to see my blood casually when it's not coming out of me. I went to Catholic school sincerely, so everything I tell you is a dark secret. It's like catching a snail to rip off its shell, thinking you freed a slug. Being crucified would suck, Erin says. No one wants to be a neighbor anymore. Here's to looking up your old address, my mother says, because her mother said, because her mother said, wearing pumps, drinking white wine through a straw, waiting for the good kind of death. I threw up sprinkling her ashes in the Pacific. I threw up the first time I saw snow. It's fall. I'm choking down the promise of spring. I hope you can't hear my hands sweat. I hope you don't notice I'm a third of a person. I'm the girl with the tooth above her head and the melancholy center, kicking her feet, waiting for 2 parallel lines to meet. You can't trust a man to measure time. The hysteric duck escapes me, afraid to knock. It's just heat and memory, tender feelings I said not to think about. It's not melodic, it's not pleasant, the echoes beyond the hill. We're sleeping under May flowers, God, an open window. The clouds should stay mad, the horses should have fun, the sun should be a little fucked up, and I'm on girl time. Pray back at him, the spider in my hand. Monday nights are not for love. 2 tears in a bucket, motherfuck it. Thank you.
Bailey, Port, are either of you open to one more?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see. I've got one that mentions Bernadette Mayer, and I've got one that mentions Townes Van Zandt. If anyone has,
Bernadette Mayer.
I figured. Okay. So this one is called On Indians. I went to an Indian play over the weekend and saw Indians pretend to be dead and pretend to fuck and pretend to be Indians fighting back. I saw Indians pretending to live in a world without white people. And I took deep breaths and I cried next to my Indian dad because there was an Indian on stage singing a song in Indian language, and we both knew what he said. The next day, I read 2 Bernadette Mayer poems. In both, She said Indian, not to describe a person, but to talk about corn and sitting crisscross on the bed. So that was that one. It seems like there's an office vote for the towns one. So it's another short one. So I'll go for that. It's called Gods in the Trunk. On the highway, police escort the new corpse, cropped and brushed up high, hair sprayed, bitten dust. Cities are all the same when you look at them. There's an overcrowded cemetery over there. Towns Van Zant loves my ears and snuggles up close. Or is it the other way? And the tunnel I'm in is red and blue. I feel patriotic when Delta Dawn is playing. The hearse makes me love America a little. The hearse says it's evergreen. I think my Uber driver would call that irony if I told him. I made weird eye contact with the driver of an old green Blazer. His bumper sticker said, "Our vets," and the rest was faded. Thank you.
Thanks, Port. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Bailey. Yeah, shush those guys.
Sorry, my roommate just came home. Yeah, I have one more that I can read. I titled this after the first line that it has, but for the sake of this reading, it can be a poem called Poem. Yeah. What is the matter with you? Will you just say anything? Date anyone? Nobody cares that your mother is Latina. Not as much as you do, that's for sure. I wish I could tell you that you're a man. Half the time I'm living, I'm on the most delicate concoction of caffeine and weed you could possibly imagine, and during the other half, I'm either sleeping or feeling guilty about it. I knew instantly that you were a bad person. I hate that you got mad at me for thinking that right away, because I was right, and when you got mad at me, it made me doubt myself. I hate doubting myself. I wish you would demonstratively show that you care about me missing you. When you don't, it hurts my feelings because we had sex. I won't be haunted by you. Have you ever done anything that was just a little bit homosexual? I love you so much, it hurts my brain and aches my heart. I don't have any questions you can answer. I wish you acted like you did the first night we met. You're my enemy. I meant everything I ever said to you. Do you want to stop not being friends for an evening so we can watch The Godfather 2? I'm never joking unless I'm lying, and even then there's a chance I'm telling at least a little bit of the truth. I want to be more alone each day. I would do anything for you. Do you know that I mean that? Thanks for being my only work friend. Fuck you. On principle. There's no way I'm ever paying you back for that salad you bought me. I owe you a ton. What do you think you'll want your wife to say when you inevitably realize that you miss her? I'm mad at my parents, and all my siblings are children. You're kind, but you don't understand me. When you wear sweaters, it makes you seem like a normal person. I wish I could meet your daughter without your baby daddy hate criming me. I can't come to the show tonight. I'm busy performing an archival deconstruction of the nuclear family unit. I deserve an apology. I'm really happy for you. It's like super cool you're 5'9". You should see a girl like me in heels. People think I'm dramatic, but I'm just made up of every little thing anyone's ever said to me. At the end of the world, there will still be roaches left to carry the last letter I write from my body to yours. You can't hurt me. I know what real love is. Thanks.
Hell yeah, Bailey. Thank you. Thanks for entertaining my wayward requests. I really was glad to hear all of those last poems. And I texted Erin, and Erin has no more poems. So thank God she read that one about me. And thank you all for tuning in to one of the best readings in Brooklyn Real history. There will be another one next week that will also be one of the best readings in Brooklyn Real history. It happens every week. My God, they just keep coming. Next week will be Tony Toll and Annabelle Lee on the 15th. And then tomorrow we'll be back in the Zoom and there will be a conversation about Picasso with some folks, including Pepe Carmel, Joaquin Pissarro, and Shinyu Pai. And you're all great. And now, because you're all great and because we do it every day, we're going to throw the mics open and you can all tell each other you're great or something else, but preferably the first. I don't have the power to do
Great.
Thank
You're
you.
great.
You're so great.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was
Thank you, you
so much.
guys.
Thank you so much.
You guys, that was killer.
Bye, everybody.
Love you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Great.